We're living in tumultuous times. People like me who were born prior to 1970 have a better perspective from which to fully gauge what we're experiencing compared to Generation Y, the digital natives. While the 1970s to 2000s differed in politics, culture, and technology, three things remained fairly constant throughout. 1, there was little debate between truth and fiction. 2, journalism was respected. And 3, while people from different regions in America had their disagreements, disdain and belligerence between them was not an issue. People from rural areas, suburbs, and big cities didn't stew on their differences and generally got along. Today is a different story. Things that people in prior decades would not question as being true due to it being self-evident, or from having trust in the experts, are now being questioned and outright rejected. Half our population distrusts what the media, academia, and government say now. In the past, these three institutions held the country together. People turned to them for guidance in times of crisis. Not anymore. Journalism, the profession of documenting events and reporting them to the public, has lost nearly all of its credibility, whether justified or not. It used to be that people got their news from just 3 TV channels: ABC, NBC, or CBS, and their city's main newspaper. Then, 24/7 cable news. Today, the convergence of high-speed internet, Wi-Fi, smartphones, and social media has opened the floodgates of information to the masses. Now it's very easy for anyone to produce and mass distribute news content that can be read by millions of people in real time, thanks to user-generated content apps like YouTube, Facebook, X, and TikTok. Over 1 trillion pages of text are uploaded to the web every day, and 30,000 days worth of video. Every single day, not year. Add to this the tens of millions of comments people leave, and what you have is an ongoing, unmoderated national discussion being held in the comments section of Facebook and YouTube. While the big search engines have algorithms to identify and filter out false news, it clashes with the First Amendment guaranteeing freedom of speech, effectively enabling a Wild West environment of news reporting and consuming. An ominous, worrisome finding is a recent study that found most teens get their news from TikTok. What could possibly go wrong? At least in the old world of journalism, there was a code of ethics and standards of practice. You just reported what happened, the accounts of witnesses, and offered no side. You went straight to the source and verified your source's claims when possible before reporting. Those days are long gone. News today is like uncontrollable floodwaters, far-reaching and hard to manage. False news will find its audience and set into motion undesirable consequences to social peace and stability. Today, this phenomenon is in full swing. The most consequential effect of this technology-born, unmitigated orgy of information is that bad actors, including foreign governments, now have the means to sow discontent and confusion to the masses. They could be doing it for power, monetizing fear, or simply deriving personal satisfaction out of chaos. Their goal is to attack and fuel mistrust of established institutions and practices. This can explain the surge in skepticism towards government, the media, and science. But a second cause of this anti-establishment and anti-science movement is people allowing themselves to be deceived. Yes, there are many uneducated people among us who are easy to manipulate, but the real problem is millions of everyday people who are intellectually lazy. Rather than think critically and demand evidence when encountering a false or inaccurate claim, they allow their personal biases to guide their beliefs and actions because deep down inside, they wish for their beliefs to be validated. Eventually, their online algorithm takes root, and they are fed hours and hours of content that reinforces these false beliefs. It is no stretch to compare this to consuming mind-altering drugs. This meets the definition of being brainwashed and of being programmed. It's nothing to be concerned about if we're talking 10 or 20 people, but when the numbers are in the hundreds of millions, it is something you should be very worried about. With this YouTube channel, I aim to provide rational analysis of society's conflicts and propose some solutions, applying scientific reasoning when possible while acknowledging the roles certain cultural rituals have in shaping people's beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. I aim to balance the often conflicting values of faith and science, benevolence and pragmatism, and realism and idealism, which comprise the substrate of one's morality. Every individual prioritizes these values differently, which makes them the unique person they are today. They drive our mindset and actions as we navigate life and work towards building our version of the ideal future. Collectively, these actions determine the trajectory of our future as a country. It is in our best interest to find common ground and be able to compromise to ensure a bright future for American society. Please note, certain beliefs will be put under the microscope, dissected and analyzed from a rational point of view. Things that are considered taboo but relevant to the problem will be brought out into the open. People on either side of the political divide may be offended by the analysis offered because of a perception that their beliefs are under attack. But remember, a mark of rational thinking applied to social issues is that it sometimes takes the conservative side, and other times, the liberal side. It just depends on which viewpoint has more evidence and objective rationale to support it, and relies much less on hopes, feelings, and other irrelevant value propositions. I present the analysis of the issues, but you decide, and please consider subscribing and commenting. Thanks for watching.